to give us the opening prayer for today.
Can we please be on our feet? In Jesus' name, Father, we want to thank you for our lives. We want to thank you for great opportunities. We want to thank you for good health. We want to thank you for sound mind. We want to thank you for the journey here. We want to thank you for the conversations that we're going to have here. We want to thank you for the networking. We want to thank you for everything that you're going to put in our hearts and in our pockets. Father, we say that as we deliberate, as we talk, as we network, that it will be for you and to your glory in the mighty name of Jesus. We open this in the name of God the Father, the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. You can please be seated.
Thank you so much. We're not going to be wasting time today, okay, because I want you to have a good time, engage. It's a networking session. I know we're not in church, but please turn to your neighbor and say, you look nice. Did you tell her she looks nice? You did. All right. Okay, so we're going to invite the CEO for his keynote speech. Please pay rapt attention so you can ask your questions. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Shea. Round of applause, please.
Good morning, everyone. And don't worry, I'm not removing bump. I'm trying to check if this is intact. Okay. So I'm not Mark Zuckerberg. I'm not anything, but I just decided, usually I think this morning, I had the intention of wearing tie because I started my career as a corporate finance or a banker. So, but unfortunately, the tie that I chose to wear, I didn't have it properly well prepared, so I had to come in this. So good morning, and I'm very happy to see everybody. It's very, very joyful to me to talk about Payaza, and it's a very sweet story for me at each and every point in time that I have opportunity to talk about what we have done, what we've been able to achieve, the things we've done over time. So I'll proceed. All right. So, okay. All right. So I'll start the conversation predominantly, when we heard about payment gateway, everybody talks about, there's so many people talking about payment, there's a lot of payment gateway, there's a lot of people doing technology, doing a whole lot of bunch. But I would like to, debug the particular conversation that the market is very, 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 very huge, and then the market is very big. So case in point, that's the reason why I want to start our conversation here with the total number, these are the global payment giants across the world. You could see UnionPay rocking almost about 22 to 25 trillion in terms of transaction. WeChat doing 12 trillion. You can see Visa doing 14 to 15 trillion transaction every other year. MasterCard, 9 trillion. Alipay, China doing 17 trillion. UPI belongs to India, so doing almost about 2.3. And then predominantly, if you could see years back, the guys that are leading were Visa, and then were leading as well were MasterCard. Those are the two guys that were leading years ago. But you can see now that UnionPay has taken over, followed by WeChat, followed by Visa, and then WeChat taking over that space, and then MasterCard being number 4. So what we're saying essentially is that payment gateway keeps evolving, and the market is very, very big. If you have almost about 2 million people playing within that space can still accommodate a whole lot of people. So why question people ask, okay, payment again? I was sharing with someone that Visa processes almost 1.2 trillion transactions daily. Those are the kind of volumes and the numbers that you see within this space. This whole ecosystem is almost about $84 trillion ecosystem year on year. So that's the reason why you see us, and then more businesses are coming within that space. So Payaza. So who we are at Payaza? We are predominantly a B2B, a payment gateway. We do B2B businesses. We don't do B2B. We are the one that bank the likes of B2C businesses. So that is who we are. And what's our vision? We want to be the most trusted payment gateway in Africa. Our mission is empowering seamless payment transaction through innovation and reliability. Particularly, we are powering employee satisfaction and growth. So our journey, this story is very interesting to me. This 2022 that you're seeing here, predominantly before 2022, we started by ourselves. We built our technology in-house. So we started before this. This was the actual day that we started transacting. So before this 2021 and 2020, we are building our technology. So and we are proud to say that our technology 100% are built in-house, no subsidiary around it. So we started full operation in 2022. We moved into 2023. We did expansion into 12 countries and then turned profits. We did an hyper growth. We did a rebranding and everything in 2024. This is where we are as of today. We've been able to say that we are the only payment gateway that come out of Africa licensed across the 50 states of the US, likewise as well, the Canada as well. And then we have UAE and then Bahrain coming into face. So that's who we are. And these are all the countries where we are present as we speak. We cover the East Africa, we cover the North Africa, we are moving into the North Africa, we have the West Africa, and then the Francophone, the Anglophone and the Francophone region of Africa. So we're predominantly processing and then doing business across those regions. So this is one of our biggest launch that we had in the US, and this particular all give me same space is similarly to like what we had in the US when we were having our launch, almost same side of settings. So we launched in Times Square last year, 2024, which was a big one for us. We have our license across all the 50 states. We've been able to do business. One of our biggest merchants in the US, I'm glad to say that we process for Dunkin' Donuts. Everybody that have eaten Dunkin' Donuts, so we do their collection in the US as we speak. So this is what we've done. So I will spend so much time on this because it's just one slide, but there's so much embedded in this. This is one of the most interesting things for us. We proud ourselves to be the most compliant and then most licensed payment gateway in Africa. And then why do we say this? This is the reason why we do all of this. So we have our PSP across all of this region. We have our e-payment license as well in Liberia, which we are opening tomorrow. We are launching Liberia office tomorrow, which is going to be their 25th presence. Then I will go to that box there. As small as that box is one of the biggest things for us. We are the payment gateway that have almost about 8 licenses under Visa. So you can see the numbers of transaction Visa process across the region. Visa process almost about 1.4 trillion transaction. So, but we have a license across Visa in 8 different jurisdictions: Nigeria, Ghana, South Africa. We have Tanzania, we have Uganda, we have Kenya, and then we have Zambia across board. So talking about our certification, what we have done within our certification, we have these ISOs, almost about 6. We have incoming ISOs, almost about 8 joining in those ISOs. So what does it? It is an interesting story regarding these ISOs. When we're getting our license in Liberia, the old Central Bank of Liberia had almost about, let's say, 3 ISOs. So but by the time we submitted all our documentation to the Central Bank of Liberia, they saw about 6 or 7 ISOs. The ISO 27701, they are still applying for it. So by so doing, within the couple of 3 or 4 weeks, we are giving our license just to show how compliant and how diligent we are in terms of compliance within that space. In terms of NDPRC, PDICSS, all of this, we have the certification, and then we are ably supported by strong people in terms of our audit. I was still having a meeting with them yesterday. So I know what we went through when Deloitte squeezed us, go through that process, but we're able to come out very, very strong. So Deloitte, and then our able partner in terms of legal partner, that's TNP. So she's ably represented there. So they've been through our journey, register the company, move the company to the next level as well. So fast forward. So these are few of the customers we process for. Like I told you, we have Exeget. We do B2B. So we process for the likes of this XGSK, Chancellor, Fire, MoneyGram. So I've mentioned a few. So these are the people we do major businesses with, and then we provide service for them. So our growth and our attraction thus far, we've onboarded over 10,000 customers, going to almost about 10,000 customers. Our MRR monthly is in excess of $1.6 million. As of 2024, which was a major journey, we processed almost about $4.6 billion. Year to date in September, we're on 8.5 billion. And then Deloitte valuation at 1.5 billion. Our EBITDA is almost about 13.6 million, and CAGR is about 250% in terms of those numbers. So here we are, but I know we should talk the terms of the number in terms of Naira. This is what we have done TPV across board, but let me go to the Naira value. So for the Naira value, we've done 3.3 trillion, we've done 12.3 trillion, but really, this is where I really want to base my conversation on. You know, years back, I had a program in HBS, and this is very, very particular to me. I believe there is a prejudice rating on black businesses and all of that. So when we are setting up, we told ourselves we are not going to do any VC or any PE funding. And then why do we want to do that? It's because we want to tell a different story about Africa and then African businesses. And which is very, very important to me, that an African business can run itself profitably and sustainably. And then what we do our model is the cost to income approach. If the merchant is not profitable, we don't onboard. We don't do any business of such. So we are not about TPV, we are not about the valuation, we are not about the numbers. We're about the business of throwing out profit and ensure that the profit is sustainable. So years back then, when we started, they said the model is not going to work. It's not going to give anything profitable to the market, but we told ourselves that we're going to put ourselves together, ensure that this model works, and then we're going to practice it. Though tough when we're starting, the first 1 year, 9 months, we were struggling with it, ensure that we build the business profitably. But I'm glad to state that 2023, we came out with 5.5 billion profit. 2024, we did about 10.2. And year to date, as of September, we're about 19.8 billion. By God's grace, we should close this year with about 23 to 24 billion in terms of profit after tax. So that is really a huge one for us. And we're very proud of every member of Payaza team that have contributed to this. So the velocity engine, so I want to give us what we then do with all our velocity, and then what we do is that typically a payment gateway, I'll just run us through we put a simple model of a transaction here, which let's pick Adidas, which is one of our big merchants. So we process the transaction through Visa or through, we pass it through either as an AGT. So the transaction is meant to be settled T+2. So, but what we then come into play is that with all the commercial paper and everything that we raised and everything, so we turn the transaction to T+1, T+0, ensuring that the merchant is settled at spot. So that is one of the, so because we know within our space that price war is a race to the bottom. So then we play on efficiency game. So that is the differentiating factor between players. So we're more of efficiency ratio payment gateway. That's what we have here. And then the challenge, so this is the explanation of what I had on the other slide. So the challenge of the standard payment settlement is T+3. So we came in with all of the CPs and everything that we raised. We run that model. We ensure that we settle merchant T+0. And then that gave us this return. That is what we've done our series 1, we've done our series 2, we've done series 3, 4, and then 5 soon coming. So we make transaction T+0. So that in relation give us all of these numbers. So these are company structures, governance, where we're a little bit well read. So so we can say that again. So we're a little well read. So this myself, proud to say, but no problem. I can say I'm part of LBS, but I claim Northwestern currently. So we have a team. So this is Rothman, Philip, most of them, they're online. So Philip, I can say Philip confidently MIT, and then Tolu, she's right here. So this is our board. We have people who discipline us as well. So these are board chairman, followed by the vice chairman, Oscar Oyema, Mrs. Abimbala, Professor Seni Bright, and there, I think one of our board members is here, Kola Bankole, she's here, and then a few others are online as well. So the management team, you see their faces, they will soon come up for all of their various presentations. Thank you so much. And that is us at Payaza.
Thank you. That was short and sweet, right? You know, when it was saying 20 billion after taxes, nobody clapped. I was wondering, excuse me? Is that not a lot of money? Come on. Right. We're going to play a short video right now. Are we ready for the video? Ready? Let's go. And when you hear Sheyi speak about their growth process, how far they've come, you can tell that they mean business, right? And in this hall right now, I've seen most people here before in different events. And it shows that there is consistency in what they are doing. And everyone here believes in what they are also doing, which is very good. Please clap for Sheyi and yourselves. Right. We also have people online watching this. So the next session is going to be for investor relations presentation. And that'll be by Fola Kemi. Is Fola Kemi here? Fola Kemi, please clap for her.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for coming for our event. I'd like to start the presentation by taking us through Payaza's product and technology. And I'd like to start like this. Some months back, myself and the head of infrastructure, we went for an AWS event. And when we got there, we had different heads of banks and fintechs. And then when we got there, they were showing us a diagram of how you ought to move from one level of technology to the other and then to the other, and kind of encouraging everybody that you have to get to what we call cloud native. And then they took a poll, and the only company that was actually fully cloud native was Payaza. And so why did I tell this story? It's because it's one of the secrets to why we are able to build fast, why we are able to deliver with speed, why we are resilient, and why we are reliable. Okay, so I'm supposed to press this. All right. In our product and offering, we have a payout. Our payout is instant. It means once you send the money, because we have what we call asynchronous processing, and we have a very deep bank network across the country and outside of the country, we're able to process your transaction immediately. Then we have collections. What do we do with collections? It means your merchants or your customers are able to plug into you directly, merchants, and make payments, and it is instant. And we're also able to settle you T+0, like our GCO said. Then we have branches. What does branches do? Branches solves the operational issues with payments, basically. It allows you to be able to categorize your collections and to be able to reconcile your collections appropriately for big organizations that have branches. And so that is one of our major products. Then we have different SDKs that we give out to merchants to be able to plug into Payaza seamlessly. One thing about Payaza is that you are also able to have a single one-time onboarding, and as you have the relevant regulatory papers, you're able to just activate the next rail without any other integration. Then we have different channels. We have the bank transfers channels, our card payment channels, mobile money, and USSD channels. Then we have our product access through our merchant dashboard, the suite of our APIs, and then our documentation. Okay, I'd already said a little about our infrastructure, but what is our infrastructure built for? It's built for high availability. It means that at every point in time, Payaza must be 99.97% available. And over the last 12 months, when we did our SLA, we found out that we were 99.97% available. Scalability and flexibility. What does this mean? It means bringing the traffic. bring in 10x traffic, bring in 100x traffic, we're able to handle this because we have already made plans for this headroom. And that is why we are using a technology that gives us that ability to scale with Docker and Kubernetes and containerization that allows us to scale horizontally. So it means as the traffic comes in, a new instance can just be spinned up without us having to worry about it. And then we also have very robust databases that are able to power our traffic. Then resilience and fault tolerance, utilizing multiple availability. Availability zone. This means that if there is a region that is down, we can quickly switch to another region because why? We are fully cloud native without you even knowing that something went down. Then definitely we are built on microservices architecture with containerization technologies, Kubernetes and Docker, which was what I explained. Then automatic infrastructure scaling. This means that as traffic comes, we can scale up. If traffic also reduces, we can also maintain our position, thereby utilizing resources very well. And what has this done for us? It has given us proven transaction volume and has given us a high growth trajectory. Thank you very much. I'd like to invite.
Hello, hi, good afternoon. Just as my colleague has said, he talked about a lot of infrastructure and technology. Now, Payaza is a fintech, financial and then technology. We are able to corroborate both the technology aspect and the financial aspect to produce results which at the end of the day give performances that make our customers and our consumers want to come back for more. So I'm just going to go straight into numbers. So you see over the, Shay talked a little bit on this, but I'll just give specifics on them. Our 2023, I see our TPV from 2023 to 2025. If you notice, you see that it's almost just a little bit above 100% on year in, year out. On 2023, we did 3.3 trillion, 2024, 6.9, and then 2025, 12.7. And this is based on just not the infrastructure and the engineering, but also the resilience we have at the back end as the finance department, understanding and then knowing how to play around in the space that we have. Now let's talk about assets. Assets is comprising of maybe like cash equivalent. We talk about the investments we have and around our space. So you see our asset base has increased from 21 to 69. That's almost like 400 or thereabouts % in 3 years. I think you should give us a round of applause, please. On the revenue aspect, so that's we're looking at also, if you notice, you see the TPV on above 100% growth on year in, year out. You also see the revenue on the 100% year in, year out, 10 billion in 2023, 21 billion in 2024, and then 30 billion year to date. Now we also expect that by the end of this year, we should maybe give it another 10 billion to just show how effective and efficient that we can be. So if you also now look, before I go to the net income, which is quite exciting, I want us to look at the EBITDA margin now. If you notice, you see in 2023 was a 58, and then there was a slight drop in 2024. Now, those of us that are seeing it will ask why. Now, the main reason why there was a slight drop in 2024 was because of the investments that we had, the expansion and growth. So we had to impute a lot of expenses, a lot of things went into the 2024 so that we can be able to increase the outputs in the following year. So if you see now in 2025, which is year to date now, we are presently now on a 67.1. So you see the growth from the 58 to the 67, which shows the consistency in what we are trying to do year in, year out, and then net income from the 5.5 billion in 2023 to the 10 billion to the 19.8 billion. At the end of the 2025 year to date, we're also, as Shay has said, we're looking at getting up to a 25 billion. Now, we cannot just do that based on just word of mouth. We're actually going to do that we're going to, number one, based on track record, what we have been doing over the years. Number two, based on the investments that we're receiving, how we are going to now put those investments in good use. Literally, we are using money to make more money. How we're going to put those investments in good use. How we are able to provide speed, continuous speed and reliability across board so that we can be able to grow. You see, when Che was giving an example, when he was presenting, traditionally, card payments are T+3, but based on number one, our infrastructure, number two, the investment that we have gotten over the years, we have been able to now push that from T+3 to T+0. So we are able to now provide what our merchants, our customers want, and then provide them speed. We are now reliable, we're fast, and all of that. So basically, these are key highlights, our financial key highlights from a year of operation to now. And then we are looking at getting this into something better before the end of the year. Thank you.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Abdullah, and I'll be taking you to the financial architecture of Payaza. Okay, so in Payaza, we have a very unique financial architecture, which is one of the reasons why we have a very good performance, and you can see the result. So, and one of it is our success is built on a strong and disciplined foundation, which is what we call our two-pillar capital strategy, right? So with debts, you're going to be very disciplined because you're going to be paid back. And also, when you get that money, you also work in-house to say, we have to put this money into good use such that we pay back the investment and we also generate income for ourselves. So, and that is why we call it the two-pillar capital strategy. And in terms of operational profitability, our growth is driven by real revenue and strong cash flow, not just investor capital. Just like I mentioned, when we get this capital, we put them into good use such that we're able to generate good operational profits. Then the next is strategic debt is our accelerator. So we tapped into the Nigerian capital markets just to raise the commercial paper, and it has been one of, I would say it was a difficult journey, but we're able to scale through, and that is why we call it as our accelerator, because we are debt-centric, right? We focus on debt just to ensure we are disciplined, and we put those monies into good use, right? And the proof is we fully repaid our 20 billion in Series 1 and Series 2 commercial paper from our internal cash flows. And also, based on the confidence the market has on us, we're able to go further to say our Series 3 and Series 4, we raised about 22.9 billion, which was even oversubscribed, right? So those are the proof. And that takes you to the model. So you have the strong operations, right? It generates profit and cash, fund growth and service debts. Then you're able to build your market trust and credit rating, unlock cheaper debt financing, and force faster profitable scaling. So this is what this two-pillar capital strategy does to you, right? So it puts you into a position whereby you are disciplined and you put those money into good use. And these are the proof, right, which we call our financial architecture. So the next is talking about our rating and financing journey. So in December 2024, we issue our 50 billion CP, right? And in June, we fully redeemed our Series 1 CP, which is about 14.9 billion. Then in August, we secured 20 billion naira in Series 3 and Series 4 commercial paper. Then in September, we fully redeemed our Series 2 commercial paper, which is about 5.6 billion naira. So that's the dollar equivalent using the prevailing exchange rate. So this tells you that there's a flow. Started from 2024, see the trajectory, right? December, June, August, September. Today, we are here talking about a new series. I mean, that's how we keep going, and everyone will be happy. Then all of this is supported by investment grade rating. Because for you to be able to do this particular series of CP, you need to be rated by institutions, right? We have our investment grade rating from Augusto, DataPro, and GCR, right? And these are like our badge for us to tap into the capital market to raise fund. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, and thank you very much for your time. My name is Shay Peters, and I'll be taking us on Payaza's environmental and sustainability. So at Payaza, one of the things that we want to do at Payaza is to lead the conversation on green economy in Africa. And we are not just doing this by word of mouth. We've taken proactive steps in this regard. We've commenced our readiness assessment test with the Federal Reporting Council of Nigeria, and these are one of the things that has guided our roadmap assessment with FRCN. So on environmental, we've taken active steps to ensure that we have hybrid work model that significantly reduces commute-related carbon emissions. And for our social, we're very keen on social. We ensure that we give back to the community and we impact our community in various ways. And then for governance, our board is diverse and is very inclusive. We are very keen. We have a code of ethics that guides our operation for all employees, and both employees, management, and directors. Also, we have, sorry, excuse me. So beyond, sorry. Yes, so while I'm still on this, so for our readiness assessment test with ESGN, we are the first financial technology company in Africa that has commenced this readiness assessment test with the FRCN, and this is to ensure that by 2026 we have a comprehensive ESG report that shows our transparency and shows our commitment to action with the UN SDG goals that we've committed to. So on our social impact. Yes, thank you very much. So on our social impact, much more than just, talking about finance and, getting resources and capital, Payaza is very keen with social responsibility. It's very central to what we do. And from empowering communities to driving innovation and sustainability across Africa, our impact is delivered through various key initiatives. We have the Payaza Hackathon. This is where we have people with diverse skills and talents come to showcase their skills. And from there, we're able to take them into offering technological skills, and then we bring them into the workforce. We have the SME tribe in Ghana to tell you that we are also looking at getting to the market with SMEs, and we try to invest them. So we had the SME tribe in Ghana, which was a huge success. We had over 10,000 SMEs in Ghana in attendance at this SME tribe in Ghana. For the Payaza Institute, this is something we are working on actively. We have commenced process on this to give back to our community. And then we have the Payaza Foundation. Now here we go out on community outreach. We go out to see orphanages, we go to homes with special needs kids to ensure that our impact is not just felt in the marketplace, but also in the community that we cater to. And this is what Payaza has done thus far. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Sheyi. So my name is Falakemi, and we are down to the million-dollar question, why Payaza? So what we've been able to demonstrate here today is our ability to meet the market needs, also supported by a very great team. We've also been able to demonstrate our market validation, and it comes from our thriving in the Nigerian debt market. And our track record really shows, based on our ability to repay our Series 1 and Series 2 CP, really from our own operational cash flow, which also speaks to the financial discipline that we have in Payaza. Being able to repay these from our own cash flow shows the core of our business being very profitable financially. It also speaks to our growth engine being a top-tier African fintech, really based on our infrastructure, the ability to be able to process high-volume transactions securely and safely as well. So with Payaza, you're really not choosing between high growth or financial stability. What you're going to be investing in is hybrid, right? So I hope that with these few points, the popular saying, that we've been able to convince you and not confuse you that Payaza is a great investment vehicle that ensures return on your investments. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I like that they are the ones that presented this stuff today, because when you see Shay speaking, when you see Philip speaking, when you hear them speaking, you can say to them, they are the founders. They'll always sweet talk you and all of that. But guess what? The business is in the right hand. You can see the staff, they embody the business, which is very, very good. So please clap for them again. I was checking what T+3 means, and it means to settle in 3 days. Apparently, you're doing it on the same, not even on the same day. It's T+0. And you said it very casually. That's interesting. In Nigeria, it's about T+2. That's like the standard here in Nigeria, right? And you're doing T+0. That's impressive. That's super impressive. I love it when, when investors see what their money is doing for other people. I love it. And they're not just making money for you, but your money is making impact for other people, which is very, very good. Payaza, thank you so, so much. Thank you so much. We're going to invite Abiola, our financial advisor, to come and do a short presentation. Thank you so much, Abiola. Let's go.
All right, thank you. Bulk of what I have to say today has been said. Shea and the team has made this a very easy task for me. I don't know, this slide can come up. All right, thank you. And I'm happy because Abdullahi has spoken about this also, right? It's the journey. You saw that picture that Shea put up, that launch in United States in August 2024. I'm happy that we came on board in November, started a conversation like Nigeria capital markets can enhance and give this business the tailwind needed, right? So we started the program December 2024, a 50 billion program, and we did the first raise, 20.3. We actually went to the market for 20, and we got 20.3. Shows the acceptance. Then, like Abdullah said, repayment is series 1, so I wouldn't dwell on this. But I want us to focus on this next slide. Can you now go to the next one? Okay. Right. So this is the meat of the presentation for me, because Abdullah has done justice on the first one, increasing market acceptance, right? And you can see when we came for the market for series 1 and 2, we had just 300 million over subscription, marginal, right? And but then when we came for series 3 and 4, we had almost 15% in over subscription, market acceptance. And what we've also seen is investors in Nigeria, just as he has said, your money giving returns, but also making impact for businesses. We've seen people deal with POS for years, T+2. We've seen now that the capital market is also doing for securities, bringing it down to T+2, thereabout in November. But again, having instant settlement for a Nigerian business that's just not operating in Nigeria, just like Chiyad is giving us 24 companies, it's a global company, but your money in Nigeria is enhancing this business globally. And that's why we have seen that investors also are becoming to embrace this as an opportunity, not just for returns, but also to have a Nigerian business operate in the United States. So I was happy when he said we put a Payaza process payment for Dunkin' Donuts. That's a global brand that we've known since when we were small, right? And this is our money also enhancing and giving this business a tailwind. I just want to see this, dwell on this. 50% over subscription is not a small feat, and for a tech business that people are then coming to embrace in the capital market, and we say thank you to the team. Also, in repaying, what they have also demonstrated is that internal debt management capacity, right? Which is also very rare, but for the business to manage this and then repay on series 1 and 2, this has been repay, and then we have series 3 and 4 continuing. And thank you. This is my short presentation just to see the tech capital market performance of the business. Thank you.
If you have questions, we're going to get there soon. So for the interactive session, we're going to have Sadat. Sadat, you here? Please come forward. I know they have questions. Let's make it more interactive. Let's ask our questions, engage. This is getting very, very interesting. Please clap for her now. She's a, yes, yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. So my name is Saadat, correction. So this is my favorite part, actually, because we get to hear what you guys have to say, not just what we have to say. So I'll be taking questions, comments, anything you guys have to say. But let me start, right? When I first heard about our CP, the first thing that my family members asked, and I said, bring your money, was, I thought you guys were just a payment gateway. Why do people want to collect our money again? And my answer was, Payaza is a white glove company. And let me explain what that means. It means we don't just take your money, right, and collect fees. We help you grow that money too so you can bring it back to us. So that's basically what Payaza does. We do everything from the beginning to the end. So that's my own point. So that's me answering from the questions that people have asked me. So if you have any other questions, any comments, please just put your hands up, and then, yes.
I'll help you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here and to, see what Payaza is doing. So my first question would be, I know that a lot of institutions and entities have, let's say, some form of love-hate relationship with regulators. So how would you describe Payaza's relationship with, our apex regulator in Nigeria, that's the CBN?
Okay, so that is a regulation question. Sorry, we want to, okay, let me take the questions, and then we will take note of them and answer, actually.
Sorry.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
My name is Charles. I just want to ask, when you say T+0, it's big deal, yes, right? And I acknowledge that. And so I'm just wondering in my head, how do you put that in the face of the market? Okay. Because if the market is aware of this, it will be a big deal for Payaza. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So I'm sorry, let's take it two at a time so we can get them answered. So while we answer those questions, can I please have Shegun on screen and Shola Ashiru to answer the marketing question, please? Please come. The mic, please.
So I'm going to be standing in front so that you'll be punching me for most of the question. So for compliance question, I think Shegun will take that question, but I can as well take it. For the T+0, so let me give you the instance about T+0, how we came about this. Because predominantly we look at the market and everybody talks about VC fund, and one fact for us is that pricing war is a race to bottom. And what do I mean is that if I price 1 naira, this person price 50 kobo, the next person will price, so everybody in that market eventually will just go down. That sector will go down. So, and then people have been asking questions, okay, what happened to Fintech? What happened to this Fintech is collapsing, this one is collapsing. That's the question that people are asking. But because of understanding of that structure, so I usually tell people that the best people to run Fintech, I'm not 100% correct, so that's my own school of thought, is a finance person. Because a finance person understands, if a technology person is running a technology company, it will turn it to an R&D. It just be building products, we will not understand where the profitability comes from. So what we then do is that, because we looked at it, that rather than doing fee or running pricing, so let's look at where we are going to play efficiency. So let's make it something that, how can I turn this T+2? If I return your money back, because for my days in banking, if I don't owe my customers money, if I return it, it will use my own account much more than the person that they send transfer instruction. Is a regional banker that has gone somewhere. This one, they will be used to all those type of lie. So if I return your money very faster, I'm going to process more for you, then I will now make more money. So that is the impact that you see in that position. When we have the fund NGN, so what we do is that instantly, once you process with us, I return your money. While my other party are processing for you the following, certainly the third day, I've returned your money back to you, and then you have done more volume. Eventually, you begin to see the efficiency in the process. So if I'm more efficient, I make more money, and then you lose value on the other, as in the competitor that is holding money, then lose more value. So invariably, if I'm going to charge you for the net present value of my money, so I look at my MPV. So if I'm going to charge you, I put probably 0.1% basis point. Because you are getting your fund instantly, you'll be very, very glad to bring your fund back rather than waiting for your fund T+3. Knowing fully well we are in a very huge exchange rate, economy, that you can use your money on the spot rather than waiting for 3 days. Then the pricing model, you won't even be afraid of the pricing. You rather take the pricing and run with an efficiency. So that's the model we have run within the space that has given us that position. And then people then begin to move. So if Shegun available for the question. Okay, these are head of compliance. So for the regulatory questions, so Shegun, you can take it while I'm here. So note we are global company, so everybody is scattered. So this is the only space. It's even very tough to get people to wear suit and tie today because everybody just wears. So we're almost everywhere. So he works out of Alberta, Canada. So, but he's still the the head of compliance. So in that department, we have almost about 15, 16 people that regulate across board. So if he's not available to take the question, I can always take the question. So I want to make it so that I'm not the only one that can answer all of it. I can answer every question.
I can take it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just having issues with unmuting my mic. I think for that question, so I will state that we'll have a very open and collaborative relationship with the Central Bank of Nigeria and also even other regulators. You know, as a licensed payment solution service providers, we actually make it priorities. And I would say, you know, for our leadership, you know, we regularly engage CBN and also align with both existing requirements and also upcoming policy changes. So that's what we do. Our conversation is also beyond compliance standards. We strive to also, you know, have a very good pace for good governance and industry practice. So I think for us, it's actually a major thing. We've gotten support even from the board, even to also the executive management. And then we try to also use that maybe various connections or probably friendship or any other means to also engage regulators. In fact, even beyond industry, just to know what is the regulatory framework or what is also upcoming for us to also provide some level of controls on our systems. And if there's anything that's also going on in the industry, we also try to take a proactive approach to that. So that's what I would use to answer that question. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Next question, please. Yes. Sorry, can you?
Good afternoon. I would like to know what the current customer concentration risk is, because I saw a lot of big, large customers displayed on the screen, big brands. So I want to know, are Payaza overly reliant on a few large clients for revenue? I want to know the customer concentration risk.
Okay, thank you very much. Can we have one more so we can take them both, please?
Good day. Okay, from the first speaker, he said your architecture is scalable in line with traffic. So with your aspirations and the numbers you've showed, when the real big business really comes, scaling up, can your infrastructure take 10 to 100 times this transaction? With all the things you've put in place now, we're going to expect big numbers. That's what we pray for too. So how were you well positioned for this?
So for the second question, can I please have Oriade? And for the first, Ibuka would like to take it. But before they get here, just like they said, when it comes to our infrastructure, we built it to scale with you, to move with you. So like they said, times 10, times 100, regardless. You just have to let us know so we can prepare and put things in place. But yeah, Ibuka is ready now.
Okay. So your question was on customer concentration risk. Yeah, I think that's a very intelligent question. So right now, there is no single concentration on any. Okay, fine. I'd like to say we are proud with the large clienteles we have, customer base we have, but there's no single concentration on any customer. right now, on top of my head, I can say that no single merchant or no single customer does above 8% of our total revenue. Now, we are also looking at diversifying into the SMEs. Now, you understand that the SMEs are like the cornerstone of every growing economy, the GDP as well. So we're now putting efforts in the SMEs, not just within Nigeria, but outside Nigeria. You see that we are fully present in almost 22 or 23 countries. So we are also using that platform to this, as in there's a line of there's a clear line of sight with how we are playing with our SMEs. So as much as we are happy with the big boys we have, but there's also now a direct conversation, a direct communication with SMEs to see how we can grow, how we can scale up their business, how we can be in partnership with them. And I'll give you a little illustration now. You see, with the SMEs now, SMEs are like, for example, I'm an Igbo man. Thank you. You see what you call settlements in the Igbo community. When you have a small business and you settle someone, you settle the boy in the organization, in the business, and he starts his own. Now, if I am able to provide you quality service as a startup or as a business, and you grow into that wonderful 5-star, whatever name you want to be, when that boy or that man or that woman is starting their own, who do you think they'll come to? Yeah. Do you understand? So there. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please, can you give the mic to Oriade?
Okay. Thank you for the question. So, for a reminder, the question is, how sure are we that we can scale when we have traffic at 100x? So, it goes to the presentation I made. Like I said, we're already ready for 100x. Why? Because we have what we call horizontal scaling. So our technology is built heavily on the AWS stack that gives us the ability to leverage on the containerization technology so that when there is load, we can definitely scale and just spin up. It automatically auto-scale by itself. Also, we leverage on what we call asynchronous processing, where we make use of Redis, Kafka, and the likes, so that we can immediately return responses and then process asynchronously. Then we have database cluster. We leverage heavily on RDS, where we are able to manage the traffic that comes in using that. Then with all these, and even many more that I don't have in mind now, we are designed, we tested our system with first 10x load, which we handled very well, and then we also have scaling opportunity for 100 more. So we have a headroom for 100x. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Can we please have the next set of questions?
Okay, good afternoon. So in the world today where we have increased threats in terms of data privacy and all that, right? How do you handle, how secure is your platform, and as well as how do you secure customers' private data? Kind of, yeah.
Thank you. Sir?
Okay, just a few things I wanted to speak to. Not much has been really said as regards to fraud, just in terms of fraud detection. Just to give, if you could speak to that, the areas as regards to fraud detection and all of that. Then another concern with running T+0 as against a T+3 would be in terms of failures. So if there are payment failures, how do you reconcile that? Getting that whole part of it correct, that, in case of failures, you don't have a situation where you've paid a merchant and then someone is asking for a refund. There are cases around chargebacks. There's case for chargebacks and all of that. And then, so that's two. I think the third one will be that just looking at the onboarding numbers, I think I saw 10,000. I don't know if that's correct, but it looks to me like you don't want to exactly play in the very small SME market yet, because I believe those guys can give you real good numbers. So probably you're playing just on the real big businesses, so to say. Yeah. So I just want to confirm if that's like a strategy. Yeah.
While
I think the CTO is online, is there. Why Philip will take most of those security questions. So let me quickly address the question regarding, Philip, you are looking too fresh this morning. So that was, yeah. So why taking your question regarding, we're not majorly focusing on the top guys. So I think Ebuka spoke briefly about it. So we launched something in Ghana called SME Tribe. So one of our principles is that when we're going to each demography, we look at the population. Case in point, Nigeria, 270 million people. We have almost 40 million SME businesses. Ghana has 33 million population, about 12.6 million out of the 33 million SME. Kenya has about 51 million population, about say 42% of that is SME. Tanzania, which is the biggest in East Africa, 52 million population, about 30 million of them is SME. You go to South Africa, 49 million population, about 36 million of them is SME. So we know variably well that even though Africa itself, the whole of business in Africa is SME. Because for you to be tagged large corporate in the West, you have to be doing EBITDA of $1 billion after tax. So even though the so-called Aliko today is not doing 1 billion, so invariably all of us, we are SME. So we focus ourselves on those SME, but we tier them in various ways. So what do? When we did the SME Tribe in Ghana, what we did for them is that we look at the business within that jurisdiction, that we know that these people, they need, those people selling on Instagram, they need just, even if we give them 10,000 Ghana CD to just support their business. And the sample that we did was just a sample TOD that we normally do in the bank. If you process with us within 3 months, we give you 25% of whatever you process with us with. So we know that we bear our risk within that period. So we now start driving people out of Instagram. We start driving people out of selling on TikTok. So what we do for it, because we have the infrastructure already, we can create a website for you. And the case that we gave them was that, how many of us remember that time when we had a fiber issue, that Instagram was down, internet, everything? So, but for those people that they lost, and another case was, even a use case was us. In December, because we talk about the money we raised, Instagram collected our account. Imagine that we are only selling on Instagram, shop, close. So what we now cited for them is that we build website for most of these businesses. So as they are selling on Instagram, they are driving that same traffic to their website. So under their website, they are building up traffic as well to be selling every day. So that is what we did for all of those people. So as we are driving them out of Instagram, TikTok, be creating your website, be selling. So we have all those kind of, so, and I can tell you, on that event alone, we onboarded over 3,200 merchants. If the country manager in Ghana, I think is somewhere in Liberia preparing for tomorrow, so he can bear those access to those numbers. We onboarded 3,200 SME, and they are all processing with us, be it 10,000 Ghana CD daily, 25,000 Ghana CD. And those are the people we are launching our mobile POS for. So we're launching a mobile POS in Ghana so that on your phone you can do all of your payments. So we have all of those few young people. Another one that I remember, I saw one lady like that does a Dire bag. I saw her in New York. Fantastic, but I also, this bag is very good. Spoke to the CMO, so we onboarded all of those businesses that are creative. Though our major concern is that ensure that you run a profitable business. If the business is not profitable, we don't run it at all. So Philip, if you are ready for the security questions, you can take it. Where's Philip? Okay,
yeah,
that's the Frenchman. So he's a MIT big boy.
Good afternoon, everyone.
He's not after. Okay, he's afternoon. Yeah.
Yeah, good afternoon, over there, Nigeria. Thank you so much, Shay. And I'm really grateful for to see the massive turnaround of people, also our investors and our lawyer partners. I think I want to say a very big thank you for this huge opportunity, also for the Ministry to work with us and also to partner with us on this journey. I'll just be responding to the questions around security and also fraud-related issues, questions that was raised. First, on the security, one of the things that we pride ourselves in is making sure that customer data are highly secured, and also that not only do we build technology to support that, we also took ourselves through a security assessment program, right? I would say that I'm happy to tell you that not only are we PCI DSS certified, but we also have different SOC 2 certification and also program that we also have taken the organization through to make sure that the customer data are secured. In terms of MPDR, we also we have that certification as well, right, to make sure that customer data are also protected and also they go through the right the way we save customer data, they follow through the right procedure, and also make sure that customer data are anonymized by nature. And that's number one. Number two is on the fraud related question. One of the key investment we made in our system, in fact, one of the one of the most significant investment in our system today is on our transaction monitoring and also our fraud detection and also fraud identification system, right? Which again is a very robust AI-driven system and that's tightly integrated with all our services across all our products. We have over a range of about 17 different alternative payment methods and also over 60 different services that rely on this robust fraud monitoring tool. I think it's one of our major cost layer. But again, we are happy to make that cost. Why? Because we know the significant transaction volume that we process on a day-on-day basis, and we want to make sure that customer transactions are well secured and they are not at zero risk as to when they're committing their transaction with us. So we have deployed these different AI agents and also the fraud monitoring tools across all our services to ensure that transactions and that does not fit the right risk acceptance criteria does not pass through our system. And even when they maybe they are initiated or maybe by any to help us to detect such transactions, such merchants, right? Again, because we are both online and also offline merchants. So in this context, I'm talking about the online merchants. So that helps us to know what merchant is either fraudulent and also to bring down the transaction as the case may be. Then lastly is that we use a risk-based approach to onboard customer on our system. So you cannot just have access to our system. You have to go through a proper risk profiling, and our compliance team they do that very much actively. So all of that are the things we combine together to make sure that customer transactions are secured and they go through the right channel before they are processed. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please, can we have an applause? Okay, so we'll be taking our two final questions, but that does not mean you cannot reach out to us. We are here night or day, midnight, weekends. We're always available. So please, the questions.
Okay,
we have a question on Zoom. How are you attracting and retaining your talent in this competitive market to ensure you maintain your service delivery? Okay, that's one. Can we have one more here?
Okay, just around the pricing. I was just trying to find out how competitive your pricing is. You said that your pricing is down, it's usually a race to the bottom. How competitive is your pricing? And then when I say how competitive your pricing, the thing that comes to my mind is revenue centralized only on fees and commissions? Are your revenues diversified in terms of your earnings? Because that's also an issue that I was hoping that could be addressed. Because you mentioned more about your cost to income ratio. Those ratios were not put up, but I can imagine what it's like too. It's something that I wanted to have an idea around. And you said your business is B2B, strictly B2B. And do you perhaps hope to diversify up beyond SMEs? Is there any other venture that you're hoping to get into? Thank you.
All right, thank you. So, now let me take the question while the online question can be taken, and then. So for B2B, when we're looking at Payaza setting up, there are two things that we look at. Our focus is on one, interest income, non-interest income. So what we started is that let's get from the known to the unknown. So we know non-interest income. You can take that fee and nobody will come back and collect the money from you. So we looked at it, okay, we are going to centralize ourselves on non-interest income. The total value of non-interest income within the Nigerian banking space is in excess of 11.2 trillion. USD every year. Both from, you can look from the accounts. Last year, GT Bank dropped their own, which is the number one. GT Bank followed by UBA, followed by Zenith, and then a very growing bank that did excellent out of the tier 3 bank was Providus Bank on non-interest income. So, and those things that contribute to it are predominantly payment business that comes around to grow non-interest. Because if you chop, if you, don't let me use chop, because we are, if you take interest income and you enjoy that fee, you can vomit it on 2 ways. Number one, you vomit it on either debt going bad. Number 2, provision. Number 3, now, the new one that Cardi B is doing is, so all of us know that, forbearance. So that one is there. So what we did was that we separate ourselves from that part. So we are big on the B2B to ensure that it's fee that we're generating. So we don't want to concentrate so much on our other income. Our other income concentrate on, because we're a technology company, we can white label some of the solutions and make money, all of those. So, but that is not our primary business. Our primary business is focusing on what we are called out to do, is to process payment, facilitate payment from one place to another, take our fee, and then run it efficiently. So we just stay on that. So if we don't lose focus, we ensure that when we start building, we now want to be a loan player, which they don't give us. We don't have the capacity to do that. So we don't have this, but then we begin to get into some unnecessary risks, and then our board is so strong on all of those risk governance. So you can't do without your ordinary activity. Even though the Ghana facility that we did was pegged at a particular, so once we have probably 3 or 4 repayments, that particular line is going to be shut down. So that's how we govern that risk. So that's on that part. Number 2 is that you're saying that how competitive our pricing is. So let me give you an instance. Today, it is much better by sit at the group level. So let me give you an instance of our Payaza runs. So the man that you just see that I just talked now, that is Philips. So Philips cover North America and Europe. So the whole 50 states of US reports to him. Canada reports to him. Part of Europe reports to him. That's Istanbul. We just opened up there, but we are not yet licensed. So reports to him. So there's another person, I don't know if he's on the call. If you can just highlight Tochukwu. Tochukwu is the CEO for Africa. And there's one slim woman there, Tolu, so she covers Asia. So that's what. So I just sit at the center, run 3 things: sales, government relationship, and then customer experience. So, and I want to go into the pricing. So at where I sit, I looked at profitability that comes from Nigeria and the volume that comes from Nigeria, vis-a-vis the profitability that comes from Ghana, vis-a-vis profitability that comes from Ivory Coast, vis-a-vis what comes from the US. So if I can tell you that the Nigerian race to the bottom, I've made Nigeria with 270 million population, with the volume of business that happen here, make it extremely unattractive for so many businesses to come in. But by the special grace of God, do you know that because there's no race to the bottom in Ivory Coast, in Ghana, it made it very, very important that people are dying to get into that economy. I'll give you another instance. Ghana, we got our license in Ghana. Our license in Ghana increased our valuation by almost $120 million. And I have almost 3 licenses in Nigeria, and it did not move my license in Nigeria by nothing less. The people that are valuing it are here. They did not even recognize immaterial to them in their book. But what Ghana will do for, and Ghana is the most sanctioned central bank in the world. Even US did not sanction like the way Ghana sanctioned. Do you understand? So, but because of the efficiency that they are running in that way. So when you come to the market, you want to disrupt the market by your pricing, they give you a strict cane. By, okay, go back, do this thing properly. So, and then we, in this particular economy, same as Ivory Coast, same as Central Africa, as the case may be, that's the way they run it. So if you are looking at pricing, and in no time, the markets have started taking shape. And why did the markets start taking shape? So people just talk about, oh, this fintech dies, this fintech died. The fintech did not die. It is the R&D that they are doing so much so that they can run TPV. That is what died. The person did not die. He has so many ideas to run the business. But because of the pricing war of race to the bottom of not looking at, case in point, if you come on Payaza, I had one meeting with one of our colleagues. Those guys came with a very good, oh, we want to increase our Naira volume and everything. And I gladly told them that if you cannot give us this pricing, the current pricing you already have, I'm going to shut you down tomorrow. And why am I able to? Because it's much more better. I'm not processing for you. incurring AWS cost. And then you are happy in your house, and I'm burning cost here with that. So I'd rather leave my cost. You know, there's your back, she me, bo, she buy me. So you leave me where I am. So don't increase my cost, don't increase my stress, and I'm processing more for you, and I'm not making money. It doesn't make it. So that is what's predominantly that is happening within the Nigerian ecosystem. And that's why we went that route of debt. If I collect your money and I return it, you'll be happy. But if I collect VC fund and you are not happy, then I keep projecting. So PE and VC, there is a velocity game that they are about. And then we are finance people that we say, so we want to ensure that we are not running a velocity. We are running a profitability game. So whatever pricing, if my bankers are here, they know how you charge me, you tell me I should come and bring money. Oh God, no, I'm not doing. Because I must be profitable. But some people can take that fee and they say, no. They can now go and pass it on somewhere. But I must run an efficient balance sheet that eventually I can return the money I collect from me from commercial paper, put some money in my pocket, and then so I can park in Tetaboro as well with a very good time. You understand? So that's the reason why we have that pricing structure. So we are big on efficiency. If you bring some pricing that does not fit our business, we gladly reject, and then we gladly disengage you. All right, thank you. So could you share more about the competitive advantage over existing player? We talk about our competitive advantage. Our competitive advantage, we've talked about it a little, which is our settlement timeline. So it's next to none within this space. Could you share a bit more? Maybe. So, most of the funding, the capital, I'll tell another story. Capital formation in Africa is very, very, very. Okay, I have a question. So we'll not turn this place to Sunday school. Now I'm a Sunday school teacher. I can talk for hours.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon, everyone. Okay, I think I came just slightly after you started, so I don't know if you mentioned. I would like to know, in number counts, the customer base. In number counts, your customer base, and in terms of value, what value?
Okay.
Secondly, I also want to find out.
Finance, you can be prepared.
Yeah.
I will give the.
I would also like to find out what your strategy will be as margin thins out, because you've been a banker and you know that we start with high margins and then more competition comes in and then you keep thinning out across different continents, because I can say that you're around the world. So what are your strategies to manage that as the business margins keep shrinking? And sometimes you even get to a point where some people don't charge anything. It's flat. So what are your plans to manage that?
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. So Abdullah, you are going to come and take some, but I don't want to be the one explaining so that you don't say, if anything, concentration risks, if anything happens to Sheyi, with this business, key man risks. But I would like to tell you first, part of the finance question, you come and take it too. So I'll explain briefly. So in terms of count, we do huge counts. So sometimes 5 to 6 million counts in terms of, so we play with almost about 23 currencies. NGN, USD, GHS, GBP, KES, all of those, ZAV and ZOV. So within all of those as well. So we have a lot of currency. But generally across, we have huge numbers on our payouts. So, and then why do you have those huge numbers on our payout? Is because of the, what they call it, exodus, the Israelite journey. You see, most of us, we are plenty. We've gone to Canada. We have gone to UK. So those people repatriate money in different layers. So 5 million, 6 million counts. So we have in that number. In terms of a volume of a transaction, NGN, USD, so the average 10,000, 20,000, 3,000. So, but I explained to you that we play on B2B. So we then onboard the likes of big boys that have gone. You can see a case of like Lemfi. So Lemfi does huge business. So we then Lemfi onboard on us, or let's say Western Union. Western Union collects money from people. So they don't know how to pay it out in Nigeria. So they plug into Payaza. Then we then distribute on their own behalf. So that's where all of those counts come from. So you can see the number of businesses that we onboard. Let's say we have about 15,000 businesses. So, but the kind of numbers and the count they do is far higher than the number of the business itself. So that's on that part. So when you are talking about, so Abdullah, you can see, you see some and so forth. When you are talking about what can we now do on the race to bottom that's happened. So there are two things in my own school of thought that stop race to bottom. So number one thing that stop race to bottom is that capital formation. Number two thing that stop race, and I'll explain each one. Number two thing that stop race to bottom is that when people, you don't need to form association that, oh, if you form this association, it will turn to, oh, Dangote and Pegasus again. So no, we don't want those ones. The real discussion is that profitability, when we start teaching and start talking about profitability, race to bottom is going to stop. And that's the reason why we are leading that conversation. And I'll first of all explain the part of risks. See, nobody, we set out to come out to do the rating and everything. So when we start discussing credit, nobody will approach a rating agency when all you are doing is TPV. And the day we are doing GCR Moody's rating, it was a tough one, as in my palm was even sweating, everything. They will ask you questions, they will tear your book to pieces. So once we're able to get that one out of the way, then what should we talk about, Almighty Augusto? So those are the things, when we prioritize risks and know that this continent, Africa is the next big thing. I live in New York, I can tell you for sure, everybody wants to do business in Africa. Everybody wants to come to Africa to come and do business. The margin that the people make, my account in Chase, they will tell you, oh, you have a CD account. Their own fixed deposit is CD. Say you have a CD account. Guess how much they will give you? 2.1%. But if I come to the Zenith Bank, at least worst scenario, they'll give me, say, 10% on 2 billion, 3 billion. Everybody wants to come and do business within Africa. But they want to come and do business with a less risky environment, which is a plus that, number one, Ashwaju has done is we are out of IMF, is a big plus. We are the only one in the whole of West Africa that are out of IMF. So I'm an economist, I see the numbers. So the second aspect that is going to help the race to the bottom is that when we prioritize that risk, and then people like all of us, we now begin to take conscious steps that, oh, we are going to be doing business with people who are profitable. We are not about, oh, this is the most popular, this is the most, this one. We are now talking about the real cost of efficiency. Then, when the conversation starts changing, people start changing their behavior. But the behavior that we have existing probably 2 or 3 years, you can see in the last 3 years, you've never heard about, oh, somebody raised one, something, there's no announcement again. Because people are tired of that announcement. Okay, after all this announcement, where is the money? So when that conversation stops, and we now focus on how the profit, then the race put to the bottom is a borrowed behavior. You see the way I'm dressed now? This is not the way my grandfather used to dress. I borrowed it from Brabby, London. So when we borrow all of those bad behavior, we are going to return those bad behavior back because it's not accounting figures. An auditor will come to you, no matter how the exchange rate. I remember they were working on one audit that I was part of. We all know that exporters are selling at a higher rate of the money. But when the audit came, it was KPMG, they audited that book. They valued that book at CBN rates. They don't even care about the growth or any of the business. So they started correcting behavior. So correction of behavior is what is going to stop that bleeding within the ecosystem. If those behavior is not stopped, then you make Nigerian market very, 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 very unprofitable for some other business to come in, and which is one of the things that this current administration is running almost everywhere, bringing more investors within the space, and then the people that you are part of. Okay. It seems you have plenty of questions, and I'll continue to. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. I hear you.
Okay.
So why are you raising funds in Naira?
For?
Why are you raising a CP in Naira?
CPA, okay.
Why
Good.
in Naira?
No, the good one. Because, see, a very stable currency that all of us across the world. If I give you NGN and I give you dollar now, which one will you collect? You collect dollar. No, I thought you would collect Naira now. Okay, so the reason why our books is, we have so much, our books is presented in USD, so that because we operate universally. So the reason why we collect NGN is one reason, so that we keep our book in USD, we have the exchange income and everything, and then we play in NGN. So the reason why we play in NGN is that NGN up and down, but we keep books in USD. So that when we do that, they were able to return your money at a stable rate. And then we keep your NGM. So we play with a lower, let's say we deal with a weaker currency, but we keep in a harder currency. So that's the structure that we play. So if we collect the NGM, there is no time that anytime you call us for your money, we just convert our USD, we give you your Naira, and then we say thank you and God bless you. So that's our structure. So we do a whole lot of business in USD and then vis-a-vis the NGM. And then it's our primary and our base currency that we need to promote even our own currency. So which is one of it you hear across our roadmap. Even though when we are doing our listing, it's going to be a dual listing. So we will not stay on one part and then not come to the other part. So we believe so much in the currency that trained us. Like some of us that use rice money to go to school. Any other question? Okay. Okay, they are online, so, okay. Those people online.
Thank you.
Okay. Can you guys hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, I wanted to respond to the message on the on one of the online attendees. I think he asked that, could you share a bit more of your competitive advantage over existing players? I know that Shahid touch base on some of that, but I want to give a much more robust context as well. So I think one of the key things that drives Payaza advantage in the market, I think we have a lot of them, and I can give you a whole lot of what that looks like. I think the first one is even I think we're probably one of the most licensed payment gateway right now in Africa, right? At the rate where we are penetrating new markets, there is no other player today that is able to operate at that level of scale. That's the first one. And the second thing is the level of dependency. If you understand how payments is structured, right? So you probably see that we have very low partner dependencies. So we go direct to the source, so which we help us to actually reduce point of failures, right? Which is to a great deal. So if you use Payaza's system, you see that our transaction success rate is extremely high. And why? Because we have that lower partner dependencies, and as a result of how we have be able to penetrate the new market and also make sure that we reduce our dependency on maybe a transaction partner. So the other one is also our cost per transaction in terms of how that. So right now you will see that Payaza, we have low fees, right, across all our currencies, even though we operate in multi-rail, multi-currency systems, right, which means that we're able to operate multiple currency across multiple jurisdictions, across multiple provider levels, right? We actually have a lower cost per transaction as a result of that, again, which is a big advantage for us, right? In terms of how we also build our system, because we prepare. Someone asked a question about how are we thinking about the future. Actually, Payaza system is designed to think about the future from the start. So we actually built an API first design. Whether you are using it using our dashboard transaction, the same transaction you can consummate on our dashboards, right? Actually is available. The corresponding APIs exist, and you can actually use it as a merchant to actually consummate your transactions, right? Which actually give us an advantage. And also, those APIs are designed at scale, right? Actually, support not only a large payout or large collection systems, or even a very large production system, factories, whatever they may be, or even a very large system. The other thing is also APMs. That's alternative payment methods. Today, Payaza has over 22 APMs, right, which cut across from cards to mobile money to transfers across multiple countries, right? Again, which even the other players, they can't boast of that level of actually of service, and which actually gives our customers a lot of options, whether across collections or across payouts. I just wanted to add that context to the conversation as well.
Thank you very much, sir. Okay. Thanks, Phillips and Sheyi. As a follow-up, could you also share a bit more on use of funds and how this fundraise strengthens ability to better serve customers? So would you like to take this?
Okay, would you allow? Okay, let me. I'll just for the person, Casey Wokocha. The fundraise is what we have explained to you. We changed the whole settlement process from T+1+0. So if you can drop your email, I'll take it up so that I won't keep a whole lot of people here. So we plan it to be an hour. So I will shoot you an email afterward. So let's take your question.
What's the question?
I think we'll be charging per question now, so there's a fee for each question. So since you should not ask a question.
The mic knows you, that's
Hello.
why.
Yeah. Sorry, I just had a lot of questions written down, and this one had to come out. If we invest, how will you keep us informed about the company's performance?
That's for the investor relations people. Is Mora there? She's online. Okay. The Zoom. So I'll tell you before she comes on. So we have within the Payaza team, we have young interns. Most of them, most of the investor relations stuff are done by them. Most of them they are in uni, both in US, in Canada, in all of. So I think she leads one of the team. So Mariah, do you hear the question? Okay.
Good afternoon. Okay, so we are dedicated to transparent and consistent communication. So as a CB holder, you get key performance updates, business highlights, and key financial information. We also have a dedicated investor relations contact and a management team. So all of this should be readily available to you to address any questions you may have. I hope this answers your question.
All right, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Shay. Thank you, everyone, for answering those questions. I was beginning to think that nobody's in a hurry to leave today, which is good. So we'll just quickly invite Taiwo to give us a closing remark, and then we'll go have tea and chit chat and ask more questions, and then we find our way home. Does that work? Or you want to remain here? Taiwo, please. Thank you.
Okay, just to say thank you for joining the train and the vehicle for assured investment returns. So we are saying thank you for being here, sharing part of the journey with us, and for the new investors, you are welcome on board. And for the ones we have, existing ones, we appreciate the trust and the belief in Payaza as an investment vehicle. While we build the most trusted payment gateway in Africa, we also want to assure you that we are also building an assured investment vehicle with a guaranteed return. Thank you and welcome on board for 50 CP program.
Before you leave, don't you want to hear the next steps? I think you want to, so let's hear it.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tolulokpa Tomori. I'm the Chief People Officer here at Payaza. I'm the skinny one that Sheyi was talking about. So what are the next steps for Payaza going forward? Okay. So footprint. We want to, I think, growth in key markets such as North Africa, as Sheyi said, North America and Middle East. Basically, I'm just going to be running us through what has been said before, so that this can stick with us as we leave. So we've conquered West Africa, East Africa, and Southern Africa. Our hope is to penetrate through the Northern Africa, through Egypt, Morocco, Algeria, and Tunisia, based on the footprint of such countries. Next slide, please. And it's not working.
So, again, as has been earlier said, conversion to a PLC and dual listing in NGX and NASDAQ. Payaza Institute, which is one of my babies, we're open to go talent in just not in Africa, but in America, Asia, and Middle East. But we're going to start with Nigeria with the first cohort next year, February. We'll be... Thank you. So we hope to not just grow talent within the Africa network, also within the world for ourselves and every one of you in this room. So if you need talent in tech, we are available. We are the ones you go to. And lastly, commercial paper. We'll be launching the Series 5 in a few days, and we hope everyone in this room will be a part of it. Thank you so much. Almost like Chi.
Sorry, let me. Okay, where's yes? You have seen this one. This one is my favorite. This two. So you know, this is where we are going to. Let's go to the next slide, please. Okay. You know, I was just going across internet. I now saw this 6 months ago. So you know, I told you I'm a Sunday school teacher, and then there's something that was written in Hebrews 11:1. So I have 3 favorite Bible passages. 3. So and I'll quote one. One is not good. So I'll quote the 2 that is good. So it said faith is the substance of things hoped for, evidence of things not seen. So but the verse 2 is what I really like. It said through faith the elders they obtain promises. So this is part of the promise we want to obtain. You know, I was looking at their details. You know, 2020, this is where they were. And then they called them the Magnificent 7. So and then they went to that place. So you can see all their numbers. But fast forward. So I look at the Payaza, don't worry. This is where we are now. In 2020, but we'll be able to move to that place, 1.5. But I will tell you in the next few years, I'm glad to tell you we started the process of the NASDAQ. By God's grace, God will complete that one, not a problem. NGX, we had a very easy output at UN the last time, and then we had meeting with almost all the NGX team. So calling on us to come and list in Nigeria by the special grace of God. Next year, March, we are going to be 5 years old. By special grace of we should be listing in Nigeria, and then by God's grace, we will be out there in NASDAQ as well in few years to come. So that is, so if you want to hear my second favorite Bible passage, the third one. So for all those people that did not treat me well, so I used to read that one to them, which is in 2 Timothy 4:14. And I will explain it to you. 2 Timothy 4, for those who have quoted it before, they know. Alexander the coppersmith did me much evil, but God will repay. But I know the people in this room, they are not part of Alexander the coppersmith. So those are the part of my very, very nice. So I quoted it for somebody this morning in, I think, in one company. I will not mention their name. So I read it down. So his name is T. the coppersmith. He did, but he has changed his behavior, and then he has behaved properly. So with this one, so usually if we do all of this in any country, we call the country owner. So the person that owns this country is one man. I call him Baba Wasiu. So his name is Taiwo because he listens to a lot of Wasiu and this, but he's a solid technology person. He's the one that hosted us. I'm a visitor here. I live in New York. So if you come to New York, I'm the one that will host you. So I'm a visitor here. He hosted us very, very well. He planned all of these events very well. He's our country manager in Nigeria. He covers Nigeria. He covers global acquiring, all of those international money that you see. This is the man that is in charge. He does every work very well. So you can sing one of your Inde Wasi to them if you so wish. So that you you pray in Muslim. We started opening prayer with a Christian, so you play in your in the other religion. So you pray for us, and then we can say a wonderful day. But we simply appreciate. If you have any word to just say as well, you can say so that we can close up today. And thank you.
Okay. Thank you, sir, for the kind words. Like you rightly said, we believe in the traditional way of listening to music. Wasiu, Yusuf Olatunji, which is intended. So once again, thank you for coming around, and I believe you all have a wonderful day. And that would also be more grateful with a good return to your investment. And thank you for being part of our journey. So we wrap it up by saying our Islamic prayer, which is the Surah Al-Fatiha, the opening. Not really religious, but I try my best to do this. Okay, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Maliki yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta 'alaihim. Ghayril maghdubi 'alaihim waladdallin. Amen. I won't say that in English. Thank you.
Sorry, before I forget, I literally almost forget, but I did not forget, thank God. You know, for every of our events that we normally do, there's one thing I normally do and say. And I thank God that it didn't skip my mind. I will have feel very, very bad. You know, summary of all these things that you have seen is that we know where our brain capacity stops and where God takes over. So that's the summary. We are not sort of intelligent people, oh, they know how to do, no, it's a lie. So, but where our brain capacity stops and we know where God takes over. So after which I've said that thing, usually because we are the one that invites you here, Abi, you are not, and so we invite. So we will now request that you should stand up. Me, I will need, there's one of my favorite songs that I normally sing to God. So just to show that it's God that is the owner of this thing, no, not all of us. So let us stand up. And you help me sing. That's my own favorite song. You just tell me, thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord, for everything you have done in our lives. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord, for everything you have done. All right, so we can go, and God bless you. Thank you for joining us.
Thank
Really
you so
appreciate it.
much. Thank you so much.